So today I am going to work on those transmission crossmember mounts, or at least temporary transmission crossmember mounts. These pieces may stay to be part of the final build or not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is at least going to give me an opportunity to figure out where they need to be put. I can make some lines. I'm going to weld something up in there. Maybe I will put or build a different final piece to go in, but this will at least get us moving forward. I also purchased motor mounts, and we'll look at that today. I don't have them on me, but I will show where they came from and what they look like. Hey there, would you mind doing me a favor and hitting the subscribe button? I really would appreciate that. You can also turn on your notifications or turn them off so that you don't get notified whenever we put out a new video. That's your choice. You can also like the video. We would appreciate that. And leave a comment. We'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. I don't know. Chinese weather balloons flying over the United States collecting spy data, or the train derailment in Ohio, the economy, how your favorite sports team's doing, the Super Bowl, maybe NASCAR because they just had the Daytona 500. I leave it up to you. If you want to talk about it, go ahead and give me a comment. All right, thanks for joining me. Have a good day. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use these pieces that were bent. I'm going to bend them up straight a little bit here to actually remake these washers that go on these bushings. Now these bushings went on the original transmission crossmember mount. I don't know that we need them for the final build. I got the original bolts, but that's the transmission crossmember that's in there right now. Maybe that'll stay, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll have another piece bent up. Maybe I'll do like I said originally after this and build a full, piece out of the rectangular tubing. We'll see what happens. This is at least to get us going so that we can get marks made and know what we need to do. I'm not trying to make busy work. I just want to try and get something up there so that I can see where the transmission is and see if I can get it aligned properly, kind of. Once the new motor mounts come in, be able to get it back into the transmission lined up where I want it to be. I am just going to take some pieces, 2x3. I'm going to cut them 3.5 inches long, which is the size I need. I'm going to cut one of these bigger flat sides off so that I can kind of use it as a mount this way. And that transmission crossmember will just sit up on top of this so that we can weld to the frame, in different areas here and here and here, right? Like I said, maybe this piece will stay as, part of it in there. I do plan on eventually trimming this back, on the sides to be diagonal to, get some height out of it. But I don't know what that height is going to be. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting these. I'm going to get a hole drilled in to mount that up in there. And then we'll take and put all of this together on that thing, so that we can get a good placement on both sides of where the transmission is going to sit. Okay, so let's get this started. That'll work because it's a little bit bent yet, but it doesn't need to be perfect. This one isn't perfect either. When that bolt goes through, it'll smush it down. It'll be fine. Probably put them with the curved side up. So as you can see, I got my pieces done, got the washers done, but you look over here, my heater's out. So not that it's super cold today, but I'm going to take care of that and get some gas. Might be back out here later to work, or I might just let the place cool down and not waste any more gas today. And I got another day tomorrow to get this done. There's not really a lot left. All I got to do is really get underneath the car, mark those pieces off where they're going to go for the bolt holes, and bolt them in. And then once they're bolted in, I can mess around back and forth a little bit with an up and down with the transmission cross member, and then we can tack weld those pieces in there. So moving along real nicely. Hey, I just wanted to mention that I am not an expert. And so if you're going to do some of the same stuff that I'm doing out here in the garage, you should take caution. And maybe even talk to some people who know more about it to make sure that you're doing it right. I'm just a guy out here having fun in a garage. I'm not somebody that you should be trying to follow by any stretch of the imagination. But thanks for tuning in. It is the next day, not any time special early in the morning. We got a little bit of snow last night, so I removed, and by a little bit I mean half an inch. Not that big a deal. I am today going to be like removing the hoist from in front of the car. Then we will secure the transmission with straps in a little bit different way so that it's not pushing forward or backwards on the engine and transmission like it is now. Right now, the way it's hooked up, it pulls forward on the transmission and kind of brings it out of where it's supposed to be at. So we're going to fix that. And then we're going to roll the car a little bit forward, jack the front end up and get it on some jack stands, and jack the back end up and get it on some jack stands. And then I will go to underneath to start fitting those pieces and figuring out where the holes on those need to be, or if I need to shorten them, or whatever it is I need to do. I don't think they need to be shorter, but just in case. Yeah, I think that's it. Once we get that done, holes are going to be drilled in, and I'm going to maybe take a measurement here to see kind of where I need to put it at. I'm going to try and get it as low as possible without, hanging below the car. Then we'll mark these pieces on the side, and then I'm going to, or at least on the back, and then I'm going to, taper cut them. I may try to leave as much as possible, so I may end up just cutting the corner off and rounding the edge, just a little bit. We'll see what happens. I want to leave as much metal there as possible, but I also don't want to leave a sharp point. So they're just going to be tack welded in for now in multiple different places. Maybe add on to them later at a later date. I have some cleanup underneath there to get some paint off and stuff like that before I can do any of that as well with a wire brush. So we'll do that first. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. So let's get to work. So I literally decided to start here. I marked this off for 1.5 inches. It's a little bit off. It's about not just a tiny bit. I know I got to bring up into the black line on this side a little bit. I'll keep measuring to make sure it's okay, but I marked it off with a washer so that I know how, to get a good visual for a curve on there. Now I'm just going to cut this little bit off and use the grinder to round it out. So I'm going to start it with that. still cleaning up here, but got these two done. I rounded them off, cut them first. I was going to show that and forgot to turn on the video. At least that's what it looks like, because when I went to grab the stand, it wasn't on. So whatever. But I got both of them done. They're within a 32nd of each other, and I think that's pretty good for doing it by hand and not really, being a professional at this. So I'm gonna let it slide. They're 1.5 inches at the back here, skinny down by about a 1/16. But they're from side to side. They're off no more than a 32nd from each other. So I'm all happy. So now I'm gonna move stuff around and prepare to get the holes lined up in these. So
okay, so got them both bolted on here. I marked off, so it's 25 inches we figured out is where this is going to sit to be square. I got them marked on the other side as well. Actually, I have a line there for 24 3/4 as well. Getting ready to tack these in. Got a line 25 inches. So they're both in here. I'm going to tack them in. There's going to be a little bit of screwing around to get them to work, but I think it'll be okay.
These are the motor mounts I purchased from Paul Horton Welder Series. I will put a link in the description to their website, or you can Google Paul Horton's Welder Series to find them. I found them by Googling Let's Swap Motor Mounts. When I get them, I will show you how I think they will work in this application. Thanks, Paul Horton's Welder Series. I can't wait to receive my parts.
Alright, so I just figured out, I have the transmission completely shoved up against the body of the car. Did that on purpose when I put the straps on. Forgot to undo that when I was putting these in, which is fine. But I have to cut off a bunch here. So I'm going to cut off probably around 3/8 of an inch just to, give it some leeway. It was pretty tight up there trying to get this in there, and it wasn't working. So that's what I'm going to do. I think we'll probably show this welded in at the beginning of the next video. So for right now, I'm going to just end this here. This is our update. I got the pieces made. They're going in. I just have to adapt a little bit more, and then I'll weld them in. But thanks for joining me.